going, everybody? Welcome back to Software Inc. Welcome back to Hard Mode. And welcome back to Nerdrasoft. I think it's fair to say that things are going pretty well at the moment for Nerdrasoft, and they're going so well that I'm getting to the point where I think it is reasonable to perhaps invest some of the $34 million back into the company. Now, I'm not at the point where I want to build my own studio yet. I'm not quite in a place where I want to go and buy, a whole bunch of city blocks and turn it into a bunch of buildings. And to be honest, I'm still putting together some ideas for what I think that could all look like. And if you do have any suggestions for what my own buildings could look like in the future, do leave them in the comments below. But what I'm thinking I want to do is I want to take my core team and I want to move them up to this floor right here. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and I'm going to lease this room. I'm going to select this one and make them look pretty much the same. And we're just going to move, we're going to copy all of the furniture from in here and just put it up on this floor. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to move the reception desk out of this space into this space. And I want to turn this space into essentially a reception, joint lounge, joint relaxation area. I just want it to be this big space where the employees can go to relax, and also where we can have people from other companies come in to offer us some deals. So all I needed to do is get rid of all the furniture in there. My entire core team is now going to head up to the new studio and continue on like nothing has changed whatsoever. And then all I need to do is go ahead and grab this reception desk, and we'll just move it down to right about here, I think is probably fair enough. And I can actually get it nice and central with the door. So anyone coming in is going to be greeted by a reception desk. As for the rest of the space, like I said, it's mostly going to be a lounge and an area for my employees to relax. And you might be thinking to yourself, hold on a minute. You just built one, and you're right, we have got this space here, but I think two of them, I don't think two of them is unreasonable. So let's try and make something that looks kind of cool right here. There we go, we have a new lounge right at the front of the building, and I've got to be honest, I kind of like how this looks. I think the orange and white is an interesting combination, at the very least. I think it looks a little more modern than some of what I've designed thus far, and I happen to really like it. So that's going to be lounge number 1. This is lounge number 2. And honestly, lounge number 1 could probably use a little bit more in the way of clutter and decoration, but it'll do for now. Now, I should mention that this isn't the only way that I'm wanting to invest money back into the company. Obviously, this cost pretty much nothing when you consider how much money we have. What I want to do is I want to get more teams. So I want to go in here and I want to lease this space, and I want to go and essentially copy all of the furniture in this space. And I'm going to be honest, I don't love this design. I don't love that we're constantly using this design. I think we could probably come up with something better. Let's to be quite honest, we could probably get a few more people into some of these offices, and that is something I'd kind of like to do. And I'm almost wondering if I was to move this water cooler and we just put it, say we just put it against this wall over here, right? So the water cooler just lives right about there. I could potentially go in here, grab those desks, and well, let's try doing it this way so things don't get a bit weird. We'll just do it sort of manually. Grab those room dividers as well, duplicate, and we can do that. And that'll give us 22 computers in this space versus the 20 that it had before. Also, for some reason, it looks like the little diamond thing I have going on is not copying very well. So let's go ahead and select all of these guys. We'll get rid of them, and I suppose we'll do that the entire way through here since the pattern isn't really working all that well. So we'll do, well, looking at it, we probably could have kept the ones in those walls, but for now it's fine. I want to make these spaces a little bit better. I want to bring in some new teams, and honestly, I just want to do that because I feel like we're not making enough. So I think this will do for the design on this room. 22 desks is better than we've had thus far. I decided to bring the orange from the ground floor break room up into here as well as a bunch of TVs, which will boost effectiveness and skill, and mood in here is generally going to be pretty good as well. So in terms of what team I want to put in here, I'm not actually 100% sure yet. I do want to start looking towards automation as quickly as I possibly can, though, because something I think is going to be really important with a hard mode playthrough is the idea of getting away from licensing. And I say that because we're essentially going to have to license other people's software to use it in our own productions. So I'd like to get away from that. I'd like to start using our own software where possible. And that applies to updates as well. So if I go to Roaster Coaster 2 and I want to update it, to, let's see here, 2D 1992, I'm going to have to use someone else's software, right? Or I can go to Bucket 3. I can say, let's update Bucket 3 to 2D 1992. We can throw some bug fixing at this as well. We'll give the core team that job, and we'll say, go ahead and update that. Once that update's done, I can then use Bucket to update Roaster Coaster 2, and everything's fine. Obviously, we would need to do the same thing with audio tools. We would need to do the same thing with 3D editors as well. So that's kind of what I want to do. And I mean, we have a team working on a 3D editor right now. We have the core team working on Bucket 4. And I'm very tempted to restructure the core team to be a 2D team so that we can have them solely focus on Bucket, 4, 5, and 6, and so on. We have the 3D team focusing on Morph 2 at the moment. So why don't we get a team to come in and start working on audio tools? That just seems like it would be a reasonable thing to do. So let's go to here. In fact, let's go to, no, we'll just go for, we'll go for audio team 1, because we're probably going to have multiple at some point. We'll make these guys sort of a nice, strong blue color right there. In terms of HR management, though, we're going to do the usual thing. We'll change this 1 million to a 3 million. We'll handle wages, handle complaints. They are going to be hired for the best roles, I guess. Education, sure. 10 of them at a time. And we have space for 22 people. So one of those is going to be a leader. So let's go for, I want to say, maybe 8 programmers, 8 designers, and I guess 5 artists. So that'll be 16, that'll be 21 plus 1 leader. And in terms of specializations, we're going to be looking for, very specifically, I would assume, systems and audio. I don't think we're going to need anything else for audio tools, but we can take a look at it and just make sure. But for now, we'll set it up that way. Traits will be, I want to say fast learners, and then the usual 3 that we don't want. And then salaries this time around, I'm going to go for high salaries so we can get some experienced workers in here, because let's be honest, we can afford it. Now, let's take a look at audio tools and see what they need. So they're going to need audio, they are going to need 2D, and they're going to need systems. So we need audio, 2D, and systems for the specializations on that team. Let's go ahead, I suppose, and look at HR management. Back to specializations, and we're looking at systems, audio, and 2D. We'll approve that, and hopefully we'll get a good balance once we get a leader in there. Now, Teamware Corp can no longer carry the publishing duties for Morph. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm gonna be honest, it's not, because they have given us unavoidable marketing. We have 29.8 million in profits. We have 2.5 million last month alone. Bucket 3, by the way, last month just did 220,000. That's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. Losing the publisher is only going to make me more money. It does mean that Morph is going to start winding down, but let's be honest, we have Morph 2 that's about halfway done, so not bad timing. And I mean, does that company still exist? What was it, Teamware Corp? No. They don't still exist. Now, I do remember looking at the company's chart here before I hit the record button, and they were in and around here with about $100 and something million. So it was also interesting looking at them because Brain U Corp right here actually happened to own about 80% of the shares in that company. So I think what's just happened is Brain U Corp just bought out my publisher and didn't maintain the publishing contract, which is a little sketchy, and I wish I could take them to court for not, upholding their end of a contract, but whatever. It's fine. We're about to make more money from Morph, and I'm absolutely here for it. So, let's get to work on an audio tool. And by that, I mean, let's hire a leader to lead my audio team. And so, I decided to go for Janice Taylor right here, because it turns out Janice actually has got some talent when it comes to audio programming and art. But on top of that, Janice is also fully capable to hire people, but also to handle automation. So Janice right here is going to be made the team leader and then have a secondary in programming and art. And essentially, we should see the audio team fill up pretty quickly, and it is now doing that. So let's go ahead and assign them this space. That's going to be for audio team 1, and then we can give them some work to do. And what's better is technically I can automate that, which I'm tempted to do, but I think what we'll do is we will manually design the first audio tool or 2, and then we can automate things. And there they are. This is the audio team. And I have to be honest, I think the white and the orange is a beautiful, beautiful combination, especially with the lighting in this game. And I feel like I've said this before. I don't actually know if I have, but Software Inc. has really nice lighting. This game has better lighting than it should have in a way. And I don't mean that in like it's too good. I just mean like they didn't have to go this hard with the lighting, but like look at these shadows, man. It's beautiful. I absolutely love the lighting in Software Inc. And it actually has me tempted to make all the rest of these studio spaces lighter. And I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go ahead and just select all of my studio spaces, and I'm going to make them just that bit brighter because it just looks better. You know, that right there looks pretty good. We get to see some of that lighting at work, and I really, really like it. It just brightens the place up a little bit, gets away from those dark black floors that we had. Now, let's go ahead, I suppose, and where's my audio team gone? They're not going to a meeting, are they? I think they're still getting to work. Whatever the case, let's just make sure we have 17 of them right now, which is fine. What we'll do then is develop software. We'll go for audio tool. And I think what I'm curious about actually is to sort by releases here. Is there any audio tool that I could purchase that I like the name of? Like, say I wanted Audible Play. They're not going to sell it to me. What about SoundShop 4? They want $51 million. You know what? Maybe we'll make our own. Maybe we'll make our own IP. I think we'll just go with our own IP. Product name. Oh, man. Amplitude Pro Audioscape. I like Audioscape because it's almost audio escape, right? This is Audioscape. I kind of like that. Sound pause, Amplitude Studio, audio edit, Audible tools, sign. You know what? Audioscape, and it's going to be hard not to say audio escape. We're going to go with that because I think it's a pretty cool thing. Like Soundscape is what about Soundscape? Ooh. Oh, let's go with Soundscape. Right? Soundscape. Maybe 2 words? No, one. We'll do 1 word in lowercase. We'll go for Soundscape. I like it. In terms of features and teams and all that stuff, I don't know what the competition has right now. So let's go with something relatively basic so it doesn't take us too long to do, especially since we're going to be using a new framework for this, which I guess will be the Soundscape engine. We'll go for something relatively basic. We'll go for a bit of EQ and compression. We'll have a channel mixer. We'll go for MIDI input and audio codecs. We're already looking at 2 years, 85% with a 7% wasted. That's fine by me. What we'll do is make it $80, and source control is going to be the source, and that is not what I'm looking for at all. Operating systems and 2D editors and things like that. Now, Bucket 3, we need to update Bucket 3. We really do. It has tech level of 1991. We're trying to get 92. I guess we'll bring our tech level down so we can use our own editor. In terms of operating systems, I'm thinking these 4, which might bring development time up a little bit, but honestly, we have 5.6 million potential consumers, so that works for me. Auto-balancing this gives us 93% expected interest, which is perfect. And the teams for this guy will be Audio Team 1 on design and Audio Team 1 on development. And the lead designer here is going to be Patrice Perez, who is not that creative, but has a lot of skill. Actually, maybe we do want to go with Melanie Davis. You are more creative, but you have the skill. I'm trying to work out who I want to go for here. I think for this first, creativity is actually kind of a big deal in hard mode. So we'll go for Melanie Dennis and hope for the best on this. There's going to be no publisher, and we're just going to go ahead and start developing this right off the bat. We'll give these guys as much time as they need. There are, unfortunately, going to be a number of programmers here who are just doing nothing, though. So maybe for the meantime, we go to contract work, and maybe we look at, I don't know, a 4-month logistics application. What do they need? Do they need any audio? They don't. Website doesn't need audio either. Can I get anything that's going to need audio work right here? It turns out the answer is absolutely yes, I can. And it was a very, very basic contract for my audio team who are still just doing what they can do, essentially. I don't necessarily think this needs to be all that amazing on the design. We'll let my programmers go at this game asset thing for Street Kids Limited tomorrow, and we'll just see how that ends up going. Now, let's take a quick look here and see how things are going for Bucket. It is almost done with Iteration 2. Morph 2 is getting there in terms of code, which is great news. So we'll kind of let it chill and do its thing. And now, at the very least, we do have the audio team artists, interestingly, working on these game assets. So we'll let them sort of continue doing their thing. That'll hopefully get them a little bit of experience. And I'm just hoping eventually we can kind of level them up a little bit. I probably should have opened the floor to educate these guys in just about anything. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to promote this and finish it, and it was inadequate quality, which, fair enough. That's to be expected. Let's just sit and work on Soundscape until it's done. We'll hopefully get it to be good. And I mean, if things get particularly rough, we could throw the core team at it, since core team, I'm pretty sure, does have some skill when it comes to everything. Yeah. Yeah, the core team could definitely be thrown at this just a little bit. I think they'd have a great time with it. It's been a while since you released a simulation game and your fans are noticing. How long has it been? Wow, it's been 6 years. It's been 6 years since Roaster Coaster 2, and it's still making money, which is good, but I do think we should look into another Roaster Coaster, especially since, I mean, we're publishing it ourselves now. We could look at an expansion pack. That would be a little bit interesting, I suppose. Good number of units sold, a good number of people that should still have those units, but let's be honest, I mean, we could port it. That would be an option as well. We have a lot of potential operating systems that this could go to. Wow, that is actually a lot of potential consumers. I'm very tempted. I'm gonna be honest, I'm very, very tempted to bring it to modern systems, but I feel like it would make more sense to just make Roaster Coaster 3, right? And we can give it 3D graphics, which is kind of a big deal. We can give it like shadows and facial animations. We could give it VR if we really wanted to. And you know what's great about this? Oh, we could give it networking. We can't give it this though, I guess, with the current teams. We could give it multiplayer. What's great about this though is that Roaster Coaster 3 can be Roaster Coaster 3D. That's kind of cool. It's going to run on the store server for now. And in terms of frameworks, I mean, let's be honest, it's going to have to, I mean, it could use this one. I don't know what the tech levels are necessarily going to be. Audio is going to be about the same. You know what? We'll use the existing framework. For game design and audio, that's great. For 2D graphics, not so good, but that's okay. I do want to go in on this, though. I think going in with 3D graphics and doing Roaster Coaster 3D with multiplayer, like, I think that's cool. Roaster Coaster 3D online, right? That's what we're going to call this thing. So the next page, the 2D editor here is going to be, oh God, I don't want to license someone else's thing. Hold on a minute. We need to prioritize this update for Bucket. So let's get that done as quickly as we possibly can. Let me assign my 3D and my audio team to that. I need that update finished so I can save a little bit of money, just a little bit on licensing. So finish the update for Bucket. And I don't know where my design document just went for the game I was working on. That's slightly annoying, but okay. Let's go back into here, and we're looking at a sequel. Now, like I said, Roaster Coaster 3D Online is the name. In terms of the framework, it is, of course, going to be the Roaster framework. Tech level can come up a little bit. 3D graphics, we'll go in with shadows. We're not going to do facial animations, and we'll do networking as well. In terms of other things, I mean, we don't need dialogue trees. We don't need a branching story. We could maybe do mod support. I don't think we're going to go for mod support either. We're going to go relatively simple. Like I said, running on the store, we'll make it $69 because we're mature like that. And now the 2D editor can be Bucket 3. The 3D editor can be Morph, which is going to bring our tech level down a little bit. And the audio tool is going to be Audible Play because, well, actually, let's go for this one. The tech level is much, much higher. So that's pretty good. That works for me. Operating systems for this guy, oh boy. We're actually a little bit limited on this one because we're going for 3D, but we do still have, what is that, 3.5 million consumers? Approximately 2 years of development. I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of here for it. 100% expected interest is pretty good. And in terms of who's making this, I'm going to give it to my 3 main teams. And then we will eventually get ourselves, I guess, a game development team of some sort. Now, who did the last Roaster Coaster? That is the important question here. We're looking for someone. Was it me? It wasn't. I did Vapor, which is a bit miserable. Do we not have anyone here with a portfolio for the last Roaster Coaster? Was it you, Bella? It was. Interesting. So Bella's creativity is not that good. However, Vaughn here, 67% to 81% with a lot of skill in games. I think Vaughn is going to be the one that leads up the design on Roaster Coaster 3D Online. So let's go ahead and start developing that. It is going to stress out some of my teams, but I think it's going to be important that we stay on top of our successes. So getting another morph out there is going to be good. Getting another Roaster Coaster out there is going to be good. And you know what will be good as well? Hitting this button and then that button so that the game cycles up the music again. I feel like I've said it before, I get really conscious of just hearing my own voice. It's weird that, I've been doing this for 10 years, but I still, just too much of my own voice is just a bit too much. Oh no, this is exciting. Morph 2 is ready to go into beta well over a year out from its release. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to go back into marketing for this guy, and the release date, I think we're going to bring it forward. It is currently August of 96. This guy isn't due out until October of 97. So let's go ahead and put it right at the end of Q2 1997. Let's go for June of 97. That might even be too far away. Maybe March. I think we're going to go for Q1 97. We're going to go for March, which is going to give me 6 months to release the product, and I'm kind of here for it. In terms of marketing, we can give it all of this stuff. I think my marketers... Oh, no, we can't do that. All right, no video. That's fine. And in terms of press builds, we'll send that out as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can't maybe do some good here and have Morph 2 hopefully be a huge success. I mean, the first one is still making us a ton of money. It's done $46 million. Last month was $2.4 million. It is still no other operating systems to port it to. So Morph 2, if we can get it to be good, I'm thinking we can really do some good things here. As for everything else, Roaster Coaster 3D Online is coming along, Soundscape is coming along, and Bucket 4, I'm kind of thinking what I might do with Bucket 4 is not bother with a 4th iteration. I think that just, it seems like it might be unnecessary. I mean, it just feels like we've been sitting on it for too long, Bucket 3 was almost 10 years ago. I don't think this guy is going to be out. I mean, I'm going to aim, I guess, for December of 1998. 10 years since Bucket 3 came out. It's still got unavoidable marketing as well. It still has 53,000 active users. I don't want to be sitting on it for 15 years. By the time it comes out, it's going to be obsolete. So hopefully it can do some good. And you know what? Let's also go ahead and market this. We'll hype it with the marketing team so that people don't get bored of it. And I suppose what we can also do is start printing copies of Morph 2. We'll do a maximum of 50,000 copies just to make sure we don't overdo it. And so we should see some copies of Morph 2. There we go. So this is, I think, pretty sure it's going to be Morph 2 sitting right there. Okay. So the couriers can pick that up. Morph 2 can go out in March and hopefully be the best thing we've ever released. So before Morph 2 goes out, I think it is going to be a good idea to look at changing my core team into a 2D team. So core team's right here. Rename simply 2D Team 1. And we'll go ahead and rename... Ooh, boy. Okay, a lot of things changed there. We'll go ahead and rename this one as well to 3D Team 1 and see if that messes with things. It didn't. That'll be fine. Not sure why the lead designer on Bucket changed 4 times there, but that's all right. We'll just do things sort of this way. And I guess what we need to do now is we need to look at what 2D, I guess, editors need. And it's mostly 2D and systems. So let's go to, oh boy. Oh boy. Well, they're going to have 22 desks. So let's, oh man. How do I want to do this? 9 and 9 is 18. Let's do the same split. 8, 8, 5. Pause for a second. Specializations are going to be systems 2D. That should be fine. And traits are the usual mix. We'll change this budget to 3 million and a salary of high, I suppose. And what I'm going to have to do here is potentially, well, I'm potentially going to have to fire some people. I'm going to be honest with you. But what I'm going to do is select all the furniture in here, and I'm going to delete it for a second. I'm going to grab all the furniture in here, and I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to go and grab the nice red color that no longer exists that used to be for the core team. So we'll just go ahead and select everything like so. And I guess we're going to find a nice new red color, which honestly, that right there is perfectly fine. So let's just change the color of you guys to that same red, and everything looks okay. So that is a new space for the 2D Team 1, which is very exciting. The only thing with this team now is, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people on the team that are not really needed. Like, I mean, you've got a lot of things you can do, but we don't necessarily need people that can do all of these different things. So I'm very tempted to say that we essentially fire everybody. And they're not going to like this, but it means I can rebuild this team with more experienced workers with higher salaries. And yeah, I'm gonna probably do this. Who is the current lead on this? I think, yeah. So I'm currently the lead on Bucket 4. I'm going to fire 17 employees is what I'm going to do. We're going to fire all of them. And we're going to replace them pretty much immediately with a bunch of people who have never been with this company, all of whom are getting hired for their respective skills in systems and 2D, which is what I wanted. That's kind of what we're looking for. We have some people that can do 3D, but you can also do systems. So we have a decent mix of skills on that team. I don't think we're going to have a lot of employees that are very happy with us there, but it should mean that we have more experienced people now working on Bucket 4, and I think that's going to be a good trade. I'm not 100% sure if it is, but I feel like it's potentially a good way to do things. I don't really know. Looking at the progress on this, I mean, it doesn't seem like it seems like it might be going a little bit faster. I don't know. Whatever the case, the 2D team, the core team, you know, these people that were with the company for the last 15 years have all just been booted out the door in favor of a bunch of people who have no loyalty at all to Nerdresoft. We also have some people who are no longer happy with their job, mostly Sanford Stevenson, who is the only person that we kept. I can understand why he might be a little bit upset. Oh, now this is very, very interesting. DeadNet has come out of nowhere and just offered me $25 million for the Morph IP. I'm not interested. I'm going to keep that deal there. I'm not interested in it, but that's interesting. Now Vapor 2's update is done down here. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and finish this Sniffer update as well if we can. Vapor 2, by the way, 5.1 million active users, and that's cool, but it's still only 1.2% of the market. Everyone else has everything else. So that might be another place that we want to, I suppose, go and look at spending some money and investing into the company. We've just had Army Town 5 come out, for example, and they're not interested in putting it on my platform. We have Crime Filter 2, who, if I give them $7 million, will keep it exclusive. What if I said until there? 9.9 million? Did it sell? It's got 31. Yeah, it's made some profits. You know what? There's $9 million. Go for it. Sound Shop 5 has made money, and they're not interested in putting it on my platform. We have another 2D editor come out. They don't really care either. We have a game, Mafia Battle 2015. They want 34 million. I don't think so. We have this game here. They're not interested. We have Office Software. They're not interested. We have a simulation game. They're not interested. Oh, boy. Okay. They are. That's the old that's Mafia Tycoon 2016. It's doing all right. Can I get like a good exclusivity deal on this? 1.2 million for 9 years of exclusivity on Mafia Tycoon 2016? Done. Absolutely. Absolutely here for it. And we'll see if that gives me more of the market share or less. I have no idea. I just want people to use my platform. That's all. That's really all I'm interested in. Now, let's go ahead and update Roaster Coaster 2. We are working, of course, on the new one, but we might as well update the old one. We'll give it bucket, and we'll go ahead and put... can the fixers do it? The fixers can't do it. Okay, so we'll give it to fixers and 2D. We'll get that update going. And then bucket 3 is actually ready for a little bit of an update as well, which can the fixers do that one? They absolutely can. So we'll go ahead and get that rolling out as well. Morph has a bunch of bugs too, but I mean, Morph 2 is going out really soon, so I don't really know that I care too much about fixing the bugs in Morph, because I'm hoping that Morph 2 is going to be good. I'm kind of hoping that people will look at Morph and be like, man, they never fixed those 200 bugs. But hey, they did in the sequel, so I'm going to buy the sequel. And so here we are in March of 1997, which means it's time for Morph 2 to be released. Is it any good? That's the real question. We're getting 3 stars, 5 stars, and 5 stars. Not bad. We're not going to order any copies of this. We're going to give it a marketing budget of $50,000. I don't necessarily know that that's going to be enough, but we're going to give it that much and see what happens. Support for Morph 2 kind of has to be the top priority. And honestly, updating Morph 2 is kind of a big deal as well. So we're going to give that to the 3D team, the 2D team, and the audio team. We're going to give it to everybody to try and get this update done as quickly as possible. It is going to be the top priority for everybody. And looking at it, it looks like there's a chance we're going to do it, but I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to throw these guys into crunch, just because the speed boost that you get on everything when you throw your employees into crunch is disgusting. But it has, by the looks of it... Oh my god, no it didn't. They're all heading home. Oh, we missed it. We missed that initial window for the update. It's fine. We'll get that out there tomorrow. I am curious though. How is it looking at the minute? It is sparse in the marketing, which isn't good. Minus $1 million in profits. It's $105. It's $6 more than its predecessor. How much money are we looking at for Morph 2? I don't know if I'm excited or if I'm anxious. I don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone. What are we looking at for Morph 2? We're going to be looking at a grand total. Come on, game. $2 million. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Marketing's up to prominence. All right. Okay. So it made a profit. It immediately made a profit. Do we have anything else we can port it to? We do. We absolutely do. This came out in December 94. 2.7 million consumers waiting for Morph 2 right there. Let's get everybody in. Let's finish this update. It's going to have bugs as well, so I guess we'll sit on this update until the bugs are sort of dealt with, because that seems fair enough, I guess. We'll release the update around, say, 4:30 p.m. when everyone starts going home, which is looking like now, so we'll go ahead and release the update. So we have 54 bugs fixed, as well as updating it to modern technological standards. Not bad. We're going to be looking at how much money here? It was 2 million yesterday. It's going to be 2.1 million for today, with another 2.7 million consumers ready to pick this thing up. Not bad. That makes me very, very happy. I'm extremely, extremely pleased about the fact that Morph 2 has actually worked out here. That's pretty good. Now, we do have to be aware that we can't get comfortable, because in December, the 3D editor Power Styles from Wind Digital is coming out. Now, what's kind of interesting is Wind Digital is not worth that much more money than me, and they have never put out a 3D editor before. So I mean, oh, Do I want to buy out a chunk of their company for $12 million? I'm slightly tempted. I'm going to be honest. I'm slightly tempted. I'm slightly tempted to poach their lead designer if I can. I don't know if I can. No, I can't take their lead designer right now. Lead designer's got a lot of skill as well. Good Lord. Yeah, I don't love that these guys are working on a 3D editor. I could buy out these shares, or I could try and buy the IP, or if it comes out, I could try and get it on my store immediately. That might not be a bad idea. It might also not be a bad idea to go for an exclusivity deal on my digital store for Morph 2. I might regret this, but let's go for a 1-year exclusivity on Morph 2 and see what happens. Why not? Let's go for this one as well. No, they're not interested. Never mind. How are we looking, by the way, on the store? 11%. Interesting. Very interesting. Do we have any updates? We do have some updates for the good old store as well. So we'll get those rolling out. We'll see if I've just crippled my sales by, oh no, it's up to 4.2 million now. So yeah, we're doing fine. We're at 13.2% of the market now. So hopefully we can, I don't know, make it higher than that. Although I guess we could also look at another update, another massive development to our digital distribution platform. Might not be a bad idea. Let's finish this update and start developing a sequel and see what we have here. So Vapor 3, we can't do this until tech level 1997. Is this going to have anything that my previous one didn't? Doesn't seem like it, does it? Which is weird, but sure. Design teams for this thing, I'm going to give it to 4 of them. And I'm going to give it development to all 4 as well. As for portfolios, I mean, I feel like Barney Cole is pretty solid for this kind of thing. So let's start developing Vapor 3. And we'll see if it works out. We'll see if it's decent. The design phase is going very, very quickly. And thinking about it, we're probably not going to have that many people that are good at networking right now. I guess maybe we should look into getting ourselves specific teams with specific skills, because in this kind of situation, I could throw a networking team at Vapor 3 and all of my problems would go away. Might not be a bad idea. Also, Morph 2 just dropped down to 1.2 million, which is concerning. Although I have to imagine that it dropping down to 1.2 million might have something to do with it only being available on my store. I feel like there's a solid chance that that's what's going on there. As for deals and all of that stuff, I can sort by all of them, but I mean, thus far, no one's offering me anything. No one's wanting me to, you know, sell their product on my store. These guys, it's a hosting deal. They want me to host the software on one of my servers. They don't want me to distribute it. So I don't know. I've not had any offers. There's only one company signed to my store, and it's me. So I don't know how we get companies to sell their products on my store. I really have no idea. I mean, we could go for more exclusivity deals, but maybe there's a button I'm missing. Maybe all companies, maybe, you know, you guys, for example, there's nothing in chart. There's nothing in details. I could take your lead designer. I could poach your lead designer. That's slightly tempting. These guys are also doing 3D editors, and they have no products right now. Oh, they have 19. Wait. They have 19 products? What have you guys been releasing? Antivirus and 2D editors. That makes sense. So I think it's fair to say that we're in a pretty good place. We are now above $60 million, which positions me roughly somewhere in terms of worth. I'm actually still second from the bottom, which is terrifying. Wind Digital has somehow got $72 million of worth, despite the fact that they have one product out there that made them $9 million. So I'm not really sure where that's come from, unless the private investors, man, that 18 million right there, That 18 million, by the way, has gone up by 546%. So I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that because here's the thing. These guys are working on the next 3D editor that's coming out. Wind Digital are the ones that are putting out power styles. And I'm going to take a bet on it selling because they only have one product out there. They're worth $72 million. There's no way. There's no way that company doesn't make some money here. In terms of fans, where am I? I'm quite close to the top. And in terms of bank, I'm at least above Wind Digital. So I have that going for me. I do think we should start looking into perhaps splitting up my finances a little bit, going into bonds and stocks and all that good stuff. But I think for now, well, actually, you know what? Let's invest. What are we on right now? 42 million. Let's invest 22 million into bonds, right? Let's do 22 million into bonds. That's going to release in June of 2002, so in 5 years' time. And if we now go to all companies, my bank balance is at the bottom, but I am still worth $51 million. So we're going to see if we can't withdraw a nice chunk of change in 5 years' time. And if we also can't happen to make a bunch of money from, you know, Morph as it continues to sell, because right now it just made 4.7 million, which is kind of nuts. We're still making money from everything else as well. So 4.7 million last month. The original Morph is not doing so good anymore, but still 200,000 coming in from Roaster Coaster 2. So Roaster Coaster 3D Online, I'm expecting rather, some good things right there. I'm thinking Soundscape could be okay. And I'm hoping that Vapor 3 is actually going to be good. We're going to give Vapor 3 as much time as it needs to be as good as it needs to be. So yeah, that's going to do us for today. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.